Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm KillerHERTZ and welcome to another video on my Project CLS63 AMG series. Now before I continue any further, apologies for the state of my hair. Due to lockdown, it's been 10 weeks or so since I've seen a barber. Anyway, for this episode I'm going to be discussing the exhaust modifications which I've done to my CLS since I owned it. Now AMGs, we all know, are some of the best sounding cars out there. The V8s they produce sound a hell of a lot better than the equivalents from BMW M series and the RS models from Audi, in my opinion. Bettered only, I guess, by Maserati, Lamborghini, Ferraris and so on. Now, however good they sound from stock, there's always a couple of little modifications you can do to make them sound a little bit better. So in this episode, I'm going to be discussing the changes that I've made by removing the centre resonator and replacing it with a couple of straight pipes. Now from stock, the CLS63 with the bi-turbo engine sounds pretty good anyway. But as I said, there's a couple of little extra things you can do. Now the simplest modification you can do is to remove the centre resonator. So the centre resonator is basically a silencer box which sits between the wheelbase. And by removing this, it just frees up a little bit more of the sound from the engine upon load and downshifts and so on. A lot of posts out there on forums suggest that this may cause droning. Now I can 100% guarantee this is not the case. Around town, normal driving like I'm doing now, no different than normal. It's only when you have your foot under a hard acceleration that you get a lot more sound. Now another benefit that you'll get from this is the overrun. Now you did get this with the stock engine a little bit, but it accentuates it a lot more now. So say if you're going around in second or third gear or so and your foot's on the accelerator, and then you suddenly release the accelerator while you're still moving, you get a nice little kind of brum 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 kind of sound. So the trouble is with new AMGs, this is kind of a bit more forced, a bit more contrived, where they add a few little pops and bangs and so on, which in my opinion sounds a little bit too fake. But by doing this modification on this V8, it certainly frees up a lot of that sound and you get that just naturally. So I'll just demonstrate the overrun sounds just around here in town. So I'm currently I've put it into manual mode and I'm currently in second gear. So I'll accelerate to about 30 miles an hour and then let go of the accelerator. And we can hear that kind of boom 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 sound. And of course the same if you go put up into third. Now the faster you go, you don't really kind of hear it anymore because of the wind noise. Mercedes generally tend to set their cars to be quite conservative compared to the other marques, so that you don't get it's more comfort orientated than sports, especially on cars from around 10 years ago like this one. By having this modification, you free up a lot more of the sound. Now my previous car, which was the CLS55 compressor model, now I had an Xpipe fitted to that car. Now that actually gave a hell of a lot more sound. Now I'm no expert when it comes to exhaust, so I phoned around different exhaust specialists and they suggest that with a bi-turbo engine such as this, I'm not going to hear any benefits whatsoever. So I stuck to the straight pipes. So if I pop the window down so you might be able to hear it a bit better, so I'll just give it some beans. I don't know if you could hear it then, but as soon as you upshift, you get a nice little run, like kind of a rasp. And then if I pop it into manual and I'll just downshift, you get a really nice grunt coming from the engine. Now, if you go to any garage, it doesn't have to be an exhaust specialist, they can do this for around about £120. And that's just to replace with normal steel straight pipes. Of course, if you want stainless steel, that's probably going to cost you around about another £100 or so extra. However, that will last a hell of a lot longer. Now, it's worth noting that this modification doesn't affect the MOT in the slightest. You'll still have exactly the same emissions and so on. And likewise, you don't gain any power by doing this. Now you don't need to own an AMG to have this modification. If you've got a car with more than 4 cylinders, I recommend doing it on any of those models. If you've got maybe like an E500 or something like that, simply do the same modification and it definitely makes the engine sound a hell of a lot better. So just before I show you the clips of the exhaust sound, etc., here's a quick shot of the actual resonator, which was removed off the car. You can see here where my garage cut it off, and again at the other end. Now looking inside the unit, you can see it's a very simple design, a kind of mesh of holes surrounding each pipe. Far away inside the right hand side, and up close on the left. All this is enough to reduce the overall volume of the stock exhaust. So it's now time to do some exterior shots of the car so you can get a better understanding of what it sounds like from outside. I'll start with a couple of shots of me revving the engine, and then a couple of times I'll drive past the camera. Now it's important to note that these cameras which I'm using don't give out the full, they don't replicate the full range of the sound, so it does sound actually even better in person. So that brings us to the end of this video. Now I'm sure you'll agree it sounds a hell of a lot better than just the standard exhaust. So anyone with this model, or as I've said earlier in the video, with a large cylinder engine, it's definitely worth having this mod done. Now if you haven't done already, check out the other videos in the Project CLS series. I've created quite a few episodes now detailing all the different modifications and changes I've done to the vehicles. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It does help the channel grow. And if you haven't done already, please click on that subscribe button and bell icon so you're notified as soon as I upload any new videos. Now we're nearly at 38,000 subscribers, which is absolutely fantastic. I never thought that this channel would get that big. So it encouraged me to make more videos and get the channel even larger by subscribing. Until next time, thanks very much for watching. Cheers.